Driving style, boom height and tyre choice can play a big part in spraying efficiently.
Being on the right tyres at the right time is crucial. Using the lowest pressures, good quality tyres that aren't going to give you sway and squab, and just making sure they're right. And that also works with the tyre pressures as well. So I run at the minimum tyre pressures that I can for the load rating. But also that does now bear in mind the speed that you're going as well. So the higher the load and the speed, the higher the pressure has to be. I know there are manufacturers now looking at on-the-move pressure adjustments, which we've got it on all of our mainline tractors, and it's paying dividends. For going down the road, we've got the higher tyre pressures. When we get in the field, we can reduce the pressures, reduce the compaction, but also for the sprayer, it means the boom stability is key. And then when spraying, one of the simple things from Mark Gardner, Farm Sprayer Operator of the Year, a cable tie. As you double the boom height, the drift increases by 10. So by keeping the boom as low to the ground, 50 centimetres, but that's a visual, cheap reference point straight away, and that's key to keeping pesticides out of water. It's crucial. But now with modern technology, the electronics, the GPS, the auto shut-offs, the boom height, it's developing, but also you still need to have a focus on the basics. These are aids, they're not plug and play and forget about it. You do have to maintain it like any piece of equipment. I've still got foam filters in my sensors, so I clean them and change them regularly, but I do a retune every couple of months. It takes minutes, and then the sprayer, the system can then work out all the dead zones and the valve operating times to make sure that it's working the best it can. So fine tuning it to suit how your driving style, your crop conditions, your field conditions, and it's just fine tuning it to suit what you're doing. How I've got my sprayer set up could vary dramatically to somebody else. And then with the auto shut-offs, the sprayer is trying to predict where you're going to be in about 1 or 2 seconds time. So it's setting those times up so that's right, and also letting it know where the satellite receiver is in relation to the boom. When you're using angled nozzles, you may want to change that time because the boom positioning is changing, where the nozzles are switching on and off. It's something to bear in mind. To prevent source contamination, a lot of these factors can actually be negated very early on by using integrated farm management. For example, putting grass margins against any sensitive areas. So reducing, basically by eliminating it completely, starts off with how you lay the field out. So for example, drilling across the slope if possible, so that any runoff is reduced. How you lay the field out around poles, around anything like that, and also the cultivation team, making sure that they can understand how you're doing it. I'm very lucky with the guys that I've worked with. We've always had a good relationship, and their attention to detail is as good as mine, and so the headlands and the land work is as smooth as possible. Because if you've got some ridges or some undulating field work, so if your sprayer's not stable and settled, then you're on the back foot already. And then extrapolate that out to the boom width, boom ends. I'm on a 30-metre sprayer, so 6 inches at the sprayer could be 2 or 3 feet at the far end of the boom, and then you go up to 36 or 48-metre sprayer, it just gets worse and worse. So it's all the simple things that you can do to reduce it and keep the boom as stable as possible.
Iain, would you talk to us through your best driving practices, please?
For me, for pre-em, I won't travel any faster than 12k, keeping the boom as low to the ground as possible. A lot of that is due to the fact that there's no cover to actually retain the spray, so it's more, I find that's the highest risk situation that we go in. Especially with the GPS, it's a consistent speed, so as you're coming in and out of work, making sure that you're slowing down before you get to the end of the run, and then when you set off again, you turn the master switch on, and then you're going at that constant speed. The GPS is trying to predict where you're going to be in 2 or 3 seconds time, so you're trying to give it as much, by keeping a constant speed, you're giving it as good a chance as you can.
What are your best practices for turns and corners and thoughts for the future?
With the boom widths we're running now, the difference between the centre of the sprayer and the boom tip is dramatic. So I tend to square the corners off If it's a nice gentle sweeping turn, then I'll take it. But if it's probably anything more than a 40-degree angle, I'll stop and reverse up. I always concentrate on the outside of the boom tip, so we've got a constant level across the boom. So I'll drive into a corner, switch off, and then I'll reposition myself, switch on and pull away again. So that the boom it's not swinging and yawing around, you've squared that corner off.
Oh, why is that?
I find that all the problem weeds start from the outside of the field. So by swinging around a corner so the boom is going faster than the centre of the machine, you're actually underdosing, so you're not putting the appropriate dose on to control those weeds. So by doing that, I think that's key. I mean, moving forward, I think the evolution of pulse width modulation, PWM technology, it's so exciting. The way that it can adjust without actually affecting the pressure is going to be key. I'm really excited about that.